Pocono Raceway, the unique 2.5-mile tri-oval in eastern Pennsylvania, has always been a challenging place to race. Never more so than today. Practice and qualifying virtually washed out for the ARCA series. Let's go trackside. And with that, the cars of the ARCA Re Series come to life to race 200 miles today at Pocono. Speed Channel welcomes you to Pocono, Pennsylvania, where torrential rains over the last 10 days have raised the level of the Susquehanna River 12 feet. And so they'll start this race based on point standings. Frank Kimmel is the series leader over Chad Blunt, Damon Lusk, and Andy Belmont. Let's go trackside. Dick Berggren.
This is a very unique front row, Mike Joy. Frank Kimmel starting on the pole, 39 years old, one of the most experienced of all ARCA drivers. He has 18 starts here at Pocono. He won this race back in 1999. The 22-year-old young man starting beside him, Chad Blunt, has never turned a competitive lap on this speedway. 0 laps of practice, and he's going to start on the outside of the front row. Let's go back to you, Mike.
It's going to be interesting for sure, Dick. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds. And Larry, with qualifying and practice a washout, they had a 30-minute orientation behind the pace car, and then they put the yellow flag out and said to the teams, do what you need to do. But remember, it's damp out there, especially in turn 3. So very, very little track time.
Yeah, I mean, all that was for is to get these drivers acclimated to the racetrack. You heard Dick Berggren talk about Chad Blunt never running a lap here. 4 of the top 10 had never seen this place before arriving here on Thursday, and a third of the field has never seen this racetrack. And this is not your normal oval. 2.5-mile racetrack. You're shifting on the front stretch, 3 different link straightaways, and 3 distinct different corners. A tricky racetrack, especially to start this race with 0 practice laps.
We're joined on our coverage by former NASCAR modified champion and Winston Cup veteran Jimmy Spencer. And Jimmy, this track is intimidating enough if you've been here before. How about for these rookies?
Now, wait a while. How about me being behind this camera? It's a pleasure to be with you guys today. But these guys, listening to Larry and you talk, it's true. This is the most intimidating track you can come to. You have to shift. You have to watch how you brake. You got to get the braking points right. For these rookies that's never been here, it's going to be interesting. But yet you got the veterans of Frank Kimmel and, Alexander. I'm trying to think here, guys. Give me some time. Damon Lusk ran here before. Bobby Gerhardt's ran good here. Andy Belmont's ran good here. They have not had as much practice as some of the other cars. But yet what I think you'll see today is these rookies just being patient behind guys like Frank Kimmel and these guys and figuring out where they can pass at. You can't have a perfect race car here today. You can't be good in 1 and 2 and then be really, really good in 3 and 4. So you're going to have to give up certain parts of this racetrack. The key here is to keep the front end not from sliding, being down in the low groove and power down as quick as you can, and that'll be the car that can be on top today.
But Jimmy, think back to your first time here to Pocono and put yourself in Chad Blunt's position. Outside front row, never ran a lap here. I mean, what do you think this kid is thinking as he looks out there and all the cars are behind him and he has no laps on this racetrack?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Larry. It's definitely something that he's going to have to really be aware of what's going to happen. And when he goes down into the first turn, there's a lot of room there. So he's just going to have to really be focused on what he's going to do. Not panic, slow the car down, get back in line. If it was me, I would try to follow Frank Kimmel without a question and try to figure out what he's going to do. I think he's going to do a good job. I watched him in Atlanta and Charlotte. And I think these rookies are going to surprise you today. I think they're going to be the factors that Frank's going to have his hands full.
Well, thanks, Jimmy, and thanks for joining us on our coverage today here on Speed Channel. Frank Kimmel and Chad Blunt will share the front row. Blunt, the rookie, finished in the top 6 of his 7 starts. Damon Lusk, back-to-back third-place finishes. Andy Belmont, 10th last June here in row 2. Jason Jarrett, 8th here last July with rookie Shelby Howard. Michael Vergers, 2 top 10s this year. And Mark Gibson, who was 2nd here in '98. Chase Montgomery, another rookie, 18 years old. As we look back through the field, it's the home track for Bobby Gerhardt, Daytona winner. And a lot of rookies in this race. And they'll come down this 3,700-foot front straightaway. 3, 4 cars wide, and then funnel into turn 1.
And just right before that start-finish line, these guys will be going from 3rd to 4th gear, pulling 4th gear the rest of the way down the straightaway, and before entering turn 1, downshifting back into 3rd, and most of these cars will run 3rd gear the rest of the way around the racetrack. 37 starters. The only past winner of this race in the field is our pole sitter, Frank Kimmel.
And yes, that was James Hilton of Winston Cup fame, former Rookie of the Year in Winston Cup that you saw, and Rick Corelli, who's been a standout in the Craftsman Truck Series. They are part of this field. 16-year-old Sean Stafford making his first ARCA start. Bobby Gerhardt's teammate up there in the 20th spot. Among the highlights in this field that are representing 14 states and Canada in the starting lineup. We'll be right back for the start.
Father's Day is coming soon, and Richard Petty Driving Experience has a special offer just for Dad. Buy any experience, and for an extra $75, Dad gets a ride-along program and the Swiss Army money clip.
Call 1-800-B-PETTY for this awesome Father's Day package from Richard Petty Driving Experience.
Here's a chance to make your dad feel like a king, too.
Call 1-800-B-PETTY today.
You need more NASCAR. Rev up the NASCAR Winston Cup Series telecast with 5 in-car channels of race coverage and real-time in-car data. Now you can switch from car to car, ride along, and listen in from start to finish. Only on In Demand. Get it all on digital cable with the NASCAR in-car package. Test drive NASCAR in-car for free Sunday, June 16th. Check it out only on digital cable.
For over 60 years, Mercury has been synonymous with a winning legacy. Celebrated performers like the Cougar Eliminator, the Cyclone Spoiler, and the Marauder were legends on the street, while in NASCAR, the Trans Am Series, and America's drag strips, Mercury was a dominant force like no other. Mercury's spirit of performance is making its return in the new 2003 Marauder and Speed Channel's exclusive special, Mercury at Speed, the Legend of Marauder.
Pocono Raceway, the tri-cornered hat of super speedways with 3 different banked corners of different radius, and Larry, 3 really different length straightaways.
And that turn 3, corner number 3, 6 degrees, that's flat. I mean, 6 degrees is nothing, and that's the corner you have to focus on because that's the one that takes you down that long straightaway.
80 laps, 200 miles is the distance. 37 cars are here to take the green flag, and they can go just shy of 100 miles on fuel.
And that's going to be the interesting strategy. 80 laps, they cannot go halfway 40 laps. So everybody in the garage told me this morning, we have to make 2 stops. It's when to make those stops it's important.
Because of the lack of practice time this weekend and the washout or flood out of qualifying, if you will, ARCA officials have announced that they may throw a competition yellow to allow the teams to come in and make adjustments due to having no practice.
And that would be mainly to adjust on their race cars. You know, it takes a while to go a lap down here because of being 2.5 miles. So they would let them get a fairly long green run in, and should they not have a caution for some reason, they may do that.
We have cameras on board both the front row cars, Chad Blunt and Frank Kimmel. Jimmy?
I think that you made a good point about a mandatory caution. We're getting ready to go green, but I think these guys will need it after 10 or 15 laps just to get their cars adjusted in the way. And here we go.
Cars on the front straightaway, wide enough and long enough to land a decent-sized plane, and green flag is on. They start the fan out, and Kimmel comes right up even with Blunt.
I love a start in Pocono. Look at them. They're 5 wide down the straightaway, but into turn 1, we need to get at least a 2 wide, guys.
And as we discussed, Blunt gives way to Kimmel, stays way up high on the racetrack, gingerly through turn 1.
That's Damon Lusk in the 22 car, moves into second. Winner from Atlanta back in March.
Good clean start. And already already. The field separates out into several packs.
That's turn 2 right there, what we call the tunnel turn. The infield tunnel is right underneath that corner, the fastest of the 3 corners.
Big packs of cars. As things sort out here on lap 1.
Norm Benning in the 84 car. He's the only driver to finish in the top 10 in points the last 5 seasons besides Frank Kimmel.
Kimmel leads them to the line to complete lap 1. Lusk in tow. About a second and a half back to Blunt, Vergers, Jarrett, Jason Jarrett, and Andy Belmont.
Frank Kimmel in his favorite car, he calls it Mabel, named after his mom, and he's won 4 of the last 5 races, and 3 of those wins were in this car.
Rick Corelli went to the tail end of the field after topping off his tank. On the pace lap, he's climbed from 37th to 21st.
Paul Brewer in the 76 car, he's on pit road, as well as Jason Holley in the 9 car.
Jimmy?
Well, the 75 car has had a lot of success here. That's Bob Shack's car. And that's a rookie and a guy's from across the water. And that right now he's currently in 4th. Pit window is really short here, 30 to 34 laps. So that's going to be really interesting today. They are allowed 4 sets of tires. I don't think they'll only have to pit, but twice maybe, unless your car is not right. Then you're going to see a pit more than twice. But I think you can do it also on 1 pit stop. It's very possible. Depends on the cautions.
Yeah, Jimmy, I talked to Frank Kimmel this morning. They run a Hoosier radial tire here, and he said you will definitely need fuel way before you would need tires. They brought a good tire here.
Still single file at the front. Lusk, or rather Blunt, has fallen to 4th, and the Englishman, Vergers, has moved his way up to 3rd.
We've talked about this a lot this year, Michael Vergers. He actually still lives over in England and commutes back and forth to run all the ARCA races. It's a battle for 4th right here. Chad Blunt in the 77, Jason Jarrett, son of Dale Jarrett, in the 67 car. A lot of work on that 67 car this morning. Red Farmer and that group, him help looking after this race car. Lots of work on it. And right there, Jason Jarrett was able to pick the throttle up so much earlier in that flat part of turn 3 right there. It looks like you have more horsepower, but you're able to get back to the throttle so much sooner.
Larry, I think we'll see things kind of settle in here after these first 2 laps, because these drivers with no practice time to speak of want to get a good feel for what these cars are going to do and just run off some laps, see what the car is doing.
And we'll see a lot of them get nose to tail lined up, because at these speeds, the draft definitely plays a role here, just as it would at Daytona or Talladega. We saw Jason Holley in the 9 as well as Paul Brewer in the 76 on pit road. They actually went to the garage area, as well as James Hilton in the 91.
Kimmel's running off laps at 56.2 seconds. And that would be pretty competitive for middle of the run in Winston Cup here. The 4 comes to pit road. Greg Sarf. But Damon Lusk is right there with Kimmel.
We talked about this car, Frank Kimmel. This car was actually a Roush car at one time. They bought it from Jack Roush. Frank Kimmel, 3-time ARCA champion, has 37 ARCA wins. Really made a mark in this ARCA series.
And he's also had a couple of forays into Winston Cup, ran with Andy Peach's team, and he will run the Winston Cup race here tomorrow. Frank Kimmel has led all the 4 laps so far.
The new Freedom V-twin engine and 25% more power. The 2002 Victory motorcycles challenge all other cruisers. Anytime, anywhere. Take the Freedom Challenge. See your Victory dealer for a test ride and get a free t-shirt.
You flip, but they flop. Now your pancakes are a mess, and all that butter and fat to cook them. There's got to be a better way. Introducing the Perfect Pancake, the world's first spatula-free pancake maker. Just pour in your favorite batter, close the handle, and flip it. presto, a golden brown pancake with no mess and no added fat. Now flip delicious blueberry, fluffy apple cinnamon, or mouth-watering buttermilk flapjacks. Fast, easy, and without using a spatula. Oh no, you broke the yolk again. But watch what happens with the perfect pancake. 3 eggs over easy without ever breaking a yolk. Call now and get the perfect pancake for only $19.95. You'll also receive this heart-shaped pancake ring for a Valentine's treat or a birthday breakfast free. Call right now and receive this no-drip batter dispenser free. This incredible offer is all yours for just $19.95. Call now.
Call 1-800-791-4411 to order your perfect pancake for just $19.95. Make perfect pancakes and eggs without breaking the yolk. Call now.
Welcome back to Pocono, where Frank Kimmel leads Damon Lusk by just about 0.6 of a second. Michael Berger's 3.6 seconds off the lead, with Chad Blunt, Jason Jarrett, Andy Belmont, the top half dozen.
Cars really getting strung out. This is what we call the Long Pond straightaway from turn 1 to turn 2. Long Pond, Pennsylvania, just a few miles outside of this straightaway.
For the lead, Lusk makes a run on Kimmel, looks to the inside, and there's no room there. Jimmy Spencer.
It's interesting as I'm standing here with the crew chief of Damon Lusk's car, and he's telling me the car's a little tight. And he's waiting to see if they make a call to make a caution for check the car out. And if they do, he's going to free the car up, which in turn should make the car even that much faster. So I don't know how Frank's position is right now, but it looks like it's right now that 22 car is a little tight, and he is going to make some adjustments if he has that mandatory caution.
Yeah, and Jimmy, as we all know, that's one thing that will just kill you at Pocono, especially over there in turn 3 that I've talked about. It's so flat and goes forever. If that car won't turn, you just can't get back to the throttle and stay in it. And the push will only get worse as the run goes on.
For more on our race leader, here's Dick Berggren.
Well, so far, Frank Kimmel has been absolutely silent about his race car, and that's always a good sign. Usually, if there's something wrong, you'll hear the driver complain. It's pushing here, it's loose there. Kimmel, clearly the favorite to win today. His last 3 starts at Pocono, he's finished 3rd, 5th, 2nd, 1st, 5th, and 3rd.
Impressive record, to be sure, but Damon Lusk is not going to let him make a rout of this. Berger's in 3rd, Jason Jarrett in 4th, about 5 seconds back. And then the one of Andy Belmont with Mark Gibson. Belmont's an interesting story. He's a New Jersey dirt track driver off the New Jersey-Pennsylvania circuit, trying to make his way to super speedway racing, and he's found himself quite a home in ARCA, not only Andy, but also his brother Kevin in this race.
And I talked to Andy this morning, and what makes him feel so confident right now is a boy by the name of Jeff Lemons is his crew chief, and Jeff was Frank Kimmel's crew chief when Frank won his first championship in ARCA back in 1998.
So Belmont right now in 6th position. 38. Erickson moving around the outside of Billy Venturini, running a number made famous in ARCA by his dad, Bill Venturini, out of Chicago. Then the 6th car of Mitchell, a lap down, moving past some lapped cars here. Well, this is Tom Erickson out of Heston, Pennsylvania. Owns a water well drilling company. Hence, I think those are waves along the side of that car. Having a good run in 10th place now. Next car in front of him will be Ron Cox out of Saudi Daisy, Tennessee, number 23. The 8 of Doug Ehret has gone to pit road. And back up front, Damon Lusk trying to make another run on Frank Kimmel's lead.
And this racetrack is so much about compromises. And you know, I like, if you get that car to turn good in turn 1 and turn 3, a lot of times that's going to be a little bit loose in turn 2, the tunnel turn. You just have to live with that. But the car running right behind this group right here, Michael Berger's in the 75 car. Not surprised to see that car running that well. It is set up by Bob Shack, who we had heard Jimmy Spencer talking about. And at one time, Shack was working on cars that won 6 races in a row here at Pocono, sat on the pole with Stuart Kirby last year. And Bob Shack was actually an ARCA driver at one time.
Dick?
Yeah, that car, Pop Jack told me this morning, he said that's my car, my setup, my transmission, and very importantly is that Michael Vergers is a road racer. He's used to shifting. A lot of the people he's competing against here this afternoon are not, so he's got a lot going for him.
Shaq, the winner of 6 ARCA races here at Pocono.
Yeah, Darrell Waltrip says Pocono is not an oval, it's not a road course, it's a roval. It's a little bit of both.
A road course oval. Venturini battling the 41 of Fowler, who has climbed up through this field. Wally Fowler.
46 car, Frank Kimmel catches a little bit of traffic here. Look at Damon Lusk, the 22 car. He took advantage of Frank Kimmel catching that lap traffic. He takes the lead over here on the short shoot, headed into turn 3.
New leader, Damon Lusk, in only his 4th Pocono appearance. Frank Kimmel now in 2nd. Kimmel led the first 9 laps. Lusk, the leader of lap 10.
If a car company puts a little sports car in everything it builds, imagine what happens when it builds a sports car.
Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom.
The Mazda Miata, 6 speeds, VVT engine, and a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, zoom.
The company that reinvented the Roadster keeps reinventing the Roadster.
Buying or selling a home can mean the weight of the world on your shoulders. A RE/MAX agent can lighten that load. Averaging more than 13 years experience, RE/MAX agents have the knowledge and expertise to free you of paperwork and do everything in their power to make hassles disappear. Our agents work the kind of practical magic that lets you take your life to the next level. When you're ready to buy or sell, call RE/MAX.
Dad, you gotta love racing.
Son, you gotta love fishing. Nothing like a fishing rod.
Nothing like a hot rod.
Can't we agree on anything? How about my bug flecker? Helps deflect bugs and stones.
Keeps your truck looking new. That's true. And Dad, you know, Visor lets you crack your window to keep you dry in the rain.
And cool in the heat. See, we can't agree. Now, boy, this is looking good.
I think this looks a lot better.
Auto Vent Shade products, here for the adventure called life.
You see, I would...
Any grill can cook a steak, but can it handle a pancake? The Big Easy can. From Charbroil, keepers of the flame.
Customizing your car? Stop by Meineke for performance mufflers with attitude, high energy, good look, and increased horsepower. Plus a free race game. That's Meineke Performance. Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
Damon Lusk, 30th in this race 2 years ago, 9th last year and 7th here last July. Now in the lead from pole sitter Frank Kimmel.
And you know, ever since he won that race at Atlanta, you can just see some confidence in Damon Lusk and that whole group. And what a finish that was at Atlanta a few months ago.
Lusk coming off back-to-back third-place finishes at Charlotte and Kansas. In the ARCA Re/MAX Series, ARCA enjoying its 50th anniversary season.
3rd in the points, 7 top 10s in 7 races. He's right there every week.
Let's go back and pick up the battle for 9th, where now Erickson has caught Ron Cox, the number 23. Cox in the BuffaloWildWings.com Chevrolet. Just know you can order wings off the internet. I guess you can.
I don't think there's anything you can't order off the internet. Looking at that 38 car, the front end of it, they are running a lot of tape on the front of that race car. You definitely want to run as much tape as you can because it's a free lunch as far as aerodynamics. It puts more front downforce on the car, helps the car turn, and helps the drag on these long straightaways. This is a battle for 5th. Jason Jarrett in the 67, Andy Belmont in the 1. He gets the run on the bottom right there, but they caught the lap car, and he had to give right there.
It's another way, Larry, in which this track is a lot like a road course, is catching slower traffic, where to catch them, where to take advantage of them, where to get by that lap traffic so it doesn't hold you up.
And this is a very line-sensitive racetrack. I mean, you can run 3, 4, 5 wide down these straightaways. Here we got another battle for the lead right here. Frank Kimmel in the 46 car taking advantage of some of this lap traffic. Pulls right up on the rear bumper of Damon Lusk in the 22.
Well, they split the 84 of Norm Benning coming down this front straightaway, which is paved 6 lanes wide.
But when you get to the entrance of these corners, it's almost like it's a very fine line how you get in these corners.
Saw a little fluid there. It was coming out of the car just ahead of the leaders, and now that car pulls down to the inside apron. Apparently not much of that fluid on the racetrack, just kind of blew off an indoor camera lens there.
Like Frank Kimmel's getting a really good run off the corner, but he just can't get enough to get all the way and make the pass on Damon Lusk in the 22.
Advance Auto Parts Ford looking to take the lead back. Kimmel led 9 laps. Lusk has led 4.
If you notice on Frank Kimmel, he has a lot of the left side of the grill taped up, and what they're trying to do is keep as much downforce on that left front corner. That's the corner, if you can keep it nailed down, that will make these cars turn through, especially those flat corners. And caution is on the speedway.
There is oil down in turn number 1, and we saw that come up on the camera lens just as the leaders were moving past a car that was dropping to the apron, and I believe that car was the number 28. Pulling down to the inside now, Mike Buckley has made it back around to pit road, but because of fluid on the racetrack, the caution is out for the first time today.
And even though Damon Lusk and Frank Kimmel had put a lot of cars a lap down, that was a big break for a lot of cars. Maybe another 4, 5, 6 cars that was on the verge in the next lap of going a lap down.
So 17 cars are on the lead lap as we bring out the first caution of the day.
The winner of this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans.
We're bunching up into this tight left-hander, and Hayward's all over us into the turn.
Sun, surf, and superbikes. It's a race fan's paradise at the 2002 Honda International Superbike Classic, coming to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, July 12th through the 14th. See a world-class lineup of riders, including Bostrom, Bayless, Haga, Vlad, Hayden, and Edwards compete for some of the most coveted titles in motorcycle racing. For tickets, call 1-800-327-SECA or go online at laguna-seca.com or at tickets.com. It's a world-class combination.
Hi, I'm Jim Guest, President of Consumer Reports, the one magazine totally dedicated to helping you find the best value whenever you shop.
Call now for a risk-free trial subscription that includes 12 monthly issues, plus the 2003 buying guide and the special April auto issue. As a free bonus, you'll receive the 2002 buying guide and the essential household reference, How to Clean Practically Anything, all for only $26.
Call 1-800-697-8811. That's 1-800-697-8811.
Deep in the heart of America, when you come here you will see my sweet Louisiana. I'll always keep a part of you with me. For Louisiana.
Call the number on your screen for your free Louisiana tour guide.
Louisiana.
15 laps are complete here at Pocono, and they've just opened pit road. First caution of the day, and it comes out for oil down in turn number 1.
And what this would do, this would put all the cars where they could make it on one more pit stop. But I wouldn't be surprised with just about 14 laps on their tires if we don't see some 2 tire changes. Jimmy Spencer.
Well, we're waiting for Damon Lusk to come in the pits. He is complaining about it being a little tight off. They're getting ready to put 4 tires on and 1 round in the right rear. Back down to Dick now.
Well, Frank Kimmel's coming in. He's just going to put 4 tires on the car, and interestingly enough, they're going to put some more tape on the nose. His oil temperature is 235. His water temperature is 180. That temperature allows him to put the tape on the nose, which will stick the nose of the car a little bit better. Kimmel with just a tad of a push. First car out so far. Car number 55 is gone. Gibson. Kimmel gone.
Long stop, though, for Damon Lusk compared to Kimmel, as you see the times, and Michael Berger's longer yet. In fact, they're still not quite done with the left rear on the Bob Shack-owned number 75.
A lot of trouble on that left rear, and boy, he's going to really give up a lot of track position. Most of the leaders took on 4 tires. I actually saw some cars take on 2, and Ron Cox actually in the 23 car, they looked at the tires and did fuel only.
Came in 3rd, and he will likely come out toward the tail end of the lead lap, 18th or 19th. Let's get an update on Andy Belmont's pit stop. Jimmy.
Andy Belmont come in for 4 rounds down on the track bar, some tape off the grill, and no tires, which is really interesting. So on the opposite side, Lusk puts 4 tires on, has problems with the left sides. Andy Belmont, no tires, 4 rounds down on the track bar. So his car's evidently a little loose, and Lusk's car was a little tight. So there we go. We got 2 conditions right there.
Jimmy, 4 rounds down. Is that a major change?
I think that's a major change. That car is very loose somewhere for him to go down 4 rounds on the track bar. Now, Lusk opposite. You know, 1 round in the right rear, that's going to free the car up. It's also going to raise the track bar up a little bit, and I think that's going to help him that much more. He is pretty good right now. He was leading the race, and just a little miscalculation on the pit stop. They'll get it better next time, they said.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy, 4 rounds is equivalent to 1 inch, plus pulling tape off the nose will tighten that car up. I mean, if I'm that loose, I believe I want to change tires, too.
I believe they didn't put, I'm the same as you, Larry. I can't believe they didn't put tires on knowing that they were that loose. I mean, automatically I would have tried to get some tires on, and he's saying he had a little grip with these harder tires. He's having a hard time with them. So anyway, that's a good call maybe at this point. We'll have to see how it works out.
Nick Berggren.
Well, Michael Berger's had a very long stop, as you noted, Mike. The reason was that they had decided to pull a spring rubber out of the left rear tire. Well, the left rear changer was in the process of putting the left rear tire back on, a new left rear, when all of a sudden they realized, oh, we forgot to pull the spring rubber. So they pulled that tire off, they pulled the spring rubber, and they've had to put the other tire back on again. So a hit and miss cue for Michael Berger.
And that's a sign that he was definitely tight. You pull that rubber out of the left rear, it softens that spring, will help the car turn from the center off.
Now this same feeling is available in a car.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Introducing the all-new Mazda Protege 5.
Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Same feeling.
Zoom, zoom.
New form.
Hey, mama.
Mahatma Gandhi said, "There's more to life than trying to increase its speed." Now that's deep.
For a limited time, ride off with any new BMW for under $230 a month. Get to your dealer before everybody else does.
Father's Day's coming soon, and Richard Petty Driving Experience has a special offer just for days. Buy any experience, and for an extra $75, Dad gets a ride-along program and the Swiss Army money clip.
Call 1-800-B-PETTY for this awesome Father's Day package from Richard Petty Driving Experience.
Here's a chance to make your dad feel like a king, too.
Call 1-800-B-PETTY today.
You need more NASCAR. Rev up the NASCAR Winston Cup Series telecast with 5 in-car channels of race coverage and real-time in-car data. Now you can switch from car to car, ride along, and listen in from start to finish. Only on In Demand. Get it all on digital cable with the NASCAR in-car package. Test drive NASCAR in-car for free Sunday, June 16th. Check it out only on digital cable.
The best damn sports show, period.
It's comedy, commentary, and all the scores and highlights you could possibly stand.
It's not sex, but it's close.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights at 8 and 11.
We're done with this first caution of the day in this 50th anniversary season of ARCA and what is now known as the RE/MAX Series. Lights are off on the pace car, so Kevin Belmont, who was in his 3rd Pocono appearance, 35th last June, 15th last July, will bring him down to the green flag. Mark Gibson, Kevin's older brother Andy Belmont, and pole sitter Frank Kimmel and Jason Jarrett, the top 5.
We have 18 cars on the lead lap here, so these leaders, all these leaders, the outside line, have a lot of lap traffic to deal with on the inside, and the green flag is out. Once again, you see them 5, 6 wide down this wide, long front straightaway. Looks like we got a battle for the lead right here.
Mark Gibson down to the inside to take the lead. Gibson out of Winder, Georgia. Puts his Taurus in front.
Look
Andy
at Frank
Belmont
Kimmel.
and
Look
Kimmel
all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to make them 3 wide down the long pond straight into turn 2. We'll go all the way from 4th to 2nd here. Boy, just squeezes in before he gets to the tunnel turn.
Passing both Belmont brothers, Kevin and then Andy.
Of course, Frank on those 4 fresh tires makes a difference. Chase Montgomery in the 27 car, his first time here at Pocono. A lot of these guys first time doing good here, staying in the top 10.
Will Gibson get to lead a lap here? Yes.
Heard Frank Kimmel grabbing high gear there just past the start-finish line. Peeking to the inside, trying to get that downforce on that left front corner, getting it out in clean air.
Really closes from the center of the corner out.
And he's able to turn that car down, and that's a sign of a good handling race car. That corner is so tight. Turn 1 is more than a 90-degree turn. He's able to turn it to the bottom, even on the exit, and he'll out-drag race Gibson getting into the tunnel turn here in turn 2.
And Jimmy Spencer, that tunnel turn looks like a very tough place to want to go in there side by side.
Question about it, Mike, when you have to go through that tunnel turn, you really have to be careful, because also what the drivers have to be careful of going through the tunnel turn is there's a little apron of concrete down there. If you hit it just right, you make it. If you hit it wrong, you bounce up into the other car and cause a major accident. So we're standing in the pits here with Damon Lusk crew chief Keith Strunk. Keith, what happened on that pit stop?
Front tire changer got a bunch of brake dust in his eyes and lost focus for a minute. It slowed us down a little bit.
How about the pit cycle now, the pit gas window? How far do you think you can go? You went pitted on lap 16. How far do you think you can go on fuel now?
We can go about 36 laps.
About 36 laps on fuel. Okay, back up to you guys.
Thanks, Jimmy. Frank Kimmel now with Andy Belmont behind him. Belmont passing the 59 of Mark Gibson, who's dropped to 4th behind Jason Jarrett. Dick?
Now, Mark Gibson's a really interesting story, Mike. His brother Tony is part of the crew that works on number 24, Jeff Gordon's automobile. He's a fabricator. He sets up other people's race cars for them, does clips for them. He was badly hurt in 1998 at Talladega. This is, in essence, a self-financed car. He has gone from race to race all year long, just managing to win enough in each event to get him to the next one. So he needs a good finish so he can go to Michigan next week.
Second place battle behind Frank Kimmel. That's Andy Belmont. In the yellow car, Jason Jarrett has run him down.
Damon Lusk in that 22 car, he's really coming back in a hurry. After having that long pit stop, he's back up to 4th. He's battling Jason Jarrett down a long pond straight for 3rd place. Going to make the move there before they get to the tunnel turn. You do most of your passing here on the straightaways, but it's from being able to get back to the throttle back on the exit of the corner.
Lusk now going after Andy Belmont. Your longtime ARCA watcher, you'll know that Andy brought AOL, America Online, into big league stock car racing. Now Autobahn.
A little bit of crossover move there. He entered the corner on the high side. Eddie Belmont washed up. Damon Lusk went to the bottom. He's going to bring Jason Jarrett to 67 with him down the front straightaway.
For 2nd place.
It's quite a battle we have here with 3 cars side by side.
Lusk, Belmont in the 1, and Jarrett.
Eddie
Belmont just not able to keep his car on the bottom, and I think a lot comes from not having 4 fresh tires like a lot of these other guys.
Chad Blunt on the move, now up to 6th place. Michael Vergers behind in 7th. There's Blunt in that red car, and Vergers.
And just watching him, it's almost like he's getting faster every lap, but he's learning this racetrack. But you noticed on the hood of his car, Dodge. He's the only Dodge in the field. This was one of the Chip Ganassi cars from last year. No surprise he's running well. Ernie Elliott engines in that race car.
Let's go behind the wall to Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, we're here with Mike Buckley, the driver of the 28 car. Mike, what best we put you out? We saw some fluid coming out.
Car going down the big long straightaway, went in the corner, and she just chased right up the racetrack. Come out of the corner and felt something coming right down my leg. It come through the firewall a little bit, and lost the soft plug in the motor, and it pushed all the water out.
How were you running in decent? Were you feeling good? How's the track conditions? The little water problem is fixed now over in tunnel turn through 4?
My car's a little tight, because of the lack of practice, and I've never driven this track before. It got pretty tight, especially down in 3. I could get through 1 in the tunnel turn fairly decent, but turn 3 was real tight for me.
Thanks, Mike. Sorry you're out. That's what Larry was elaborating on, is how you need to get through the tunnel turn fairly decent, but not be pushing up off of turn 4. And that kills you for that long straightaway. Too bad for Mike and the 2018, they're out for the day.
Mike from Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I guess up there we'd call that a freeze plug, Larry.
Yeah,
but he lost.
And I'm just looking at pit road, Mike. What a bad break for Shelby Howard, the 64 car. He's had to come back to pit road. Must have had a tire problem because they're changing all 4 tires.
Wow.
He's going to go at least a lap down.
The Mack Trucks, number 64, going back out after losing a lap. Shelby out of Greenwood, Indiana, the iHigh.com Chevy.
Coming here 6th in points. He has 4 top teams.
Chad Blunt up to 5th now with Vergers. They passed Gibson in the 59.
Chad Blunt got his start up at Berlin Speedway, who now Johnny Benson, I think, is part owner and operator up in Indiana. And I talked to Chad this morning, looking and thinking about maybe doing some bush racing in 2003 possibly. But he said, I want to become solid in ARCA before I do anything like that. Getting that experience.
Michigan weekend, Benson's going to go up and run Saturday night at Berlin.
Neat little speedway.
Rick Corelli has been on the move since they dropped the green flag. Here he moves into the top 10 on Wally Fowler's number 41.
It looked like he had more horsepower, but watching him off turn 3, we keep talking about it, he was able to get back in the throttle so much sooner. And I tell you, if we get a caution to get Rick caught up, because right now he's about 15 seconds behind the leader, he has a good race car, because remember, at the beginning of the race, he topped off with fuel and actually started at the rear of the field.
Corelli has run some Winston Cup. He's been Winston West champion. Set a record for top 5s, most top 5s in fewest number of starts, as we show you this once again.
This is coming out of turn 3. Look how much earlier he's in the throttle right there, and he gets up behind of the 48 car, gets him loose, and look at here, he's going to win this drag race down, but it was all because his car went through the middle of the corner. He was able to get in the throttle and stay in it.
Meanwhile, Chad Blunt and Michael Vergers. Vergers moves up to take over the 5th spot from Blunt. The Englishman in the white car. And Blunt, who's from Indiana, in that red 77. The InvisibleGlass.com Dodge. Chad Blunt.
Poor Shelby Howard, the 64 car, his troubles continue. He was too fast on the exit of pit road. These guys, they have to maintain that speed on pit road of 55 miles an hour. It will basically be a stop and go. So it's going to cost him a lot more time as these race cars are out there under green flag conditions.
Well, he lost 1 lap there. It's possible that he not lose another, but here goes Kimmel right on by. So that'll put him 2 down. Dick Berger.
Well, Kimmel is hearing exactly the kind of thing a guy likes to hear when he's driving a race car. His crew is telling him on virtually every lap that he is the fastest driver out here. His spotter has told him that his line is the best. The experience that Frank Kimmel brings to this speedway of 18 prior starts is paying off as he leads this event.
38 here. Erickson in 13th place. Now Wally Fowler dropping back a bit. Bobby Gerhart went by a lap or so ago. That'll be Gerhart in the number 5.
You know, Wally Fowler, he started back in 33rd position. We talk about guys that never seen this racetrack. This is his first start here, so he's having a good run.
Well, then he's doing a great job for somebody who's never been here before. Got a clear lapped car here. At the head of that group is Kevin Belmont, the 48. Here's Gerhart making a move on Belmont, who has Kyle Petty's Victory Junction Gang camp on the side of his number 48 this week.
This may well be about the best race we have on the racetrack right now. Quite a gaggle of cars.
And Gerhart got boxed in behind that lapped car, the number 6 of Mitchell, as did the 27, Chase Montgomery. They both went the low road. The lapped car was there, and that changed everything. Fowler, the 41, now passing the 48 of Kevin Belmont.
You can tell Kevin Belmont, the 48 car, his car is slow through the center of the corner. He can't pick that throttle up at all, and they really get a run on him off the corner. If you notice, these straightaways are so long, they actually have the numbers on the outside the wall, 3, 2, 1, to kind of give the driver a gauge of how close the entrance of the corner is. A lot like on road courses.
Right. Again, another similarity. And those braking markers or turning markers. Dick Berggren.
Well, they didn't get any practice or qualifying in because of water. And right now, Mike, there's water in turn 1. Every once in a while, we watch a car go by our position here at the front end of the pit. And believe it or not, they throw up a rooster tail. There's just a little bit of this water in the groove. But if anybody gets down below the groove, a couple of car lengths down, oh boy, there's a couple of big puddles down there right on the racetrack.
Now that's straight away there, but it's very close to the entrance to one. There's the crossover gate. Where you see it just below the racing line. Down here in the corner, things still look pretty high and dry. So 30 complete, 50 to go. Frank Kimmel has now opened up a lead over Damon Lusk of 3.6 seconds in the ARCA Remax Pocono 200.
I think my partner's a rat. We gotta shut him up.
They want a war, they got a war. Grand Theft Auto 3. Out now for PlayStation 2 and PC. Rated M for mature.
Fox Sports is proud to present Crank It Up, the CD, featuring Drycell, Slayer, Nonpoint, Rob Zombie, Head PE's Crosstown Traffic, Buck Cherry's On the Road Again, and much more. Crank It Up, the CD. Rev your engine on race day. This collection of remixes and originals you won't find anywhere else. Crank It Up, the CD. Pure adrenaline. In stores now.
Coffee? No, thanks. I think I'll get my own.
Perhaps he's compelled by the sumptuous aroma. Maybe he desires the rich, delicious taste that he finds at home. The taste of Gevalia Cafe. To experience the pleasure of Gevalia yourself, call 1-800-677-1523. We'll deliver 2 boxes of our fine European coffee for just $14.95 with a free coffee maker to ensure you brew and keep Gevalia at its finest. If you enjoy Gevalia, we'll send more whenever you like. Call 1-800-677-1523 today for your 2 boxes of Gevalia and free coffee maker. There's no further obligation. Gevalia Cafe. Always a pleasure to come home to.
Welcome back to Pocono. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds, Dick Berggren, and Winston Cup star Jimmy Spencer joining our Speed Channel coverage today for the ARCA Remax Pocono 200. 32 of 80 laps complete, 48 to go. Frank Kimmel has led 21 of those 32 laps. Damon Lusk led 7 laps, Kevin Belmont 3, and the number 59 of Mark Gibson also led today. Let's go down track side and Jimmy Spencer.
Well, what I want to report on was Shelby Howard thought he had a tire going down. So he made a call to command, put 4 tires on. The crew checked it out after a good pit stop, but yet a green flag pit stop with 4 tires, and he did not have one going down. Tough break for the guy. He's 6th in the points, so he's going to be in for a long day now.
I guess another victim of not a lot of experience here, as he's got a lot of cars involved right here with him. The 38, Erickson moving up. 41, Fowler is second in that line.
Bobby Gerhart, the 5 car right behind them, winner from Daytona, back to first race of the season. And this is the first time he's been back competing since winning Daytona.
And 18-year-old Chase Montgomery in the 27. This is his first look at Pocono. He's had 4 top 15 finishes this year. And drafting off of the veteran here, Bobby Gerhart. This is Bobby's home racetrack. So Montgomery picking up a few pointers and getting himself a little more comfortable with this speedway.
Not a bad teacher in front of him right now.
Agree. Still 16 cars on the lead lap. C.W. Smith, the retired Pennsylvania State Trooper, is going a lap down, as this battle is for 5th place. Blunt and Vergers have been trading the spot back and forth.
Vergers just able to take that bottom groove away from Chad Blunt and able to complete the pass. Here he rides up a little bit high, can't stand the throttle, his car's tight. Chad Blunt, the 77, gets the run down this long front straightaway. You hear him shifting the 4th gear there. These transmissions have straight cut gears, and you do it without a clutch, just by RPMs. And Chad Blunt, he's able to win the race down into turn 1.
Jimmy Spencer, this battling back and forth for position, it's got to be a lot of fun for the drivers, but it's not going to help them catch the leaders, is it?
No, not really, Mike. You know, the thing is there's a lot of draft on this front straightaway, so sometimes you will pass one another, but you're actually losing time to the leader. And right now, as good as Frank's car is, and where he's catching the traffic, it's going to be hard for those guys to keep up. So what they need to do is stay in line, because we have another pit stop coming. There's no question. Andy Belmont tells me his car is a little bit tight. He's just sort of riding right now, and he's going to pit for fuel on lap 51. He didn't take no tires last time, so he's going to have to put 4 tires on next time. So it's going to be interesting if they have to, within about a 15, 18 laps, they're going to have to be making a pit stop for fuel and tires.
And I mean, that's the way I calculated. All the leaders ran on lap 16. If they go 35 laps, that will take them to roughly lap 51, which will definitely take them to the end. And the key is to be on pit road sometime after lap 45, because that puts them in that 35 lap window to the end.
Pit stop by Eric Martin, came in for fuel and tires under green, so an unscheduled pit stop. As we watch Blunt and Vergers, the 5th and 6th place cars. Frank Kimmel's your leader, Damon Lusk, Andy Belmont, Jason Jarrett, and then this man, Chad Blunt, the only Dodge in the field. Kimmel's lead is eroding. It was 3.6 seconds when we came back from the last break. It's now down to 2.7.
And I think what's really been hurting him, he's been catching lap cars in the wrong place, but those lap cars will fight him much harder than they will Damon Lusk, because Frank Kimmel's the one putting those cars a lap down. Once he clears them, there's no need in fighting the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place cars.
Now Kevin Belmont has dropped back to 15th. Dick Berggren.
That's an interesting story, though, Mike. Brother of Andy Belmont. Last year, he was pretty much a field filler. He'd go out in his brother's car for a few laps, they'd collect last place money, and then he'd serve as crew chief. This year, he's gotten much more serious about it. Serious enough that last week in Kansas, he finished 9th. That was his best finish ever in ARCA. The car he's driving right now is owned by James Hilton. Remember him? Hilton started this race at age 67, dropped out early. He said the reason he was only going to run a few laps, they didn't want him to run too far. They only gave him 5 gallons of gas.
Which brings me to a great James Hilton story. When he was Ned Jarrett's crew chief in Winston Cup, and they'd go and run the East Coast Swing, and they went to a road race course. Hilton wanted to be a driver. He says, Ned, let me take out the 2nd car and collect last place money. And they didn't have quite a full field. Ned said, okay. Hilton gets in the car. Ned's out in the front pack. Hilton's running out back. Never saw Ned. So time for first pit stop. He says, well, I haven't seen the boss yet. Let me come in and get some gas and keep running. Well, that was in the days when they hauled the cars on open trailers behind a pickup truck. And to keep anybody from messing with your tank, you'd have a locking gas cap on it. And Ned said, I had the key to that cap in my pocket.
There was a method to his madness.
So the Hilton couldn't run more than the first fuel stop.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. When you see the 48 cars, certainly today you think about Jimmy Johnson, but certainly you think about James Hilton. Now, Jimmy Spencer, let's talk about our pit strategy. You're my driver. My other driver's over in Nashville for the Busch race. So what I want to do, if we're going to pit with about 29 or 30 laps to go, I feel the need, especially if I'm Frank Kimmel out there with a 3-second lead. I believe to be safe, I want to put 4 tires on you and just make sure that thing is full of fuel, but no mistakes on pit road.
Oh, I agree, Larry. The thing is, Hoosier brought a different tire here this year. It's a taller tire. We're seeing Andy Belmont still running the 3rd spot. Tires are not an issue today, so maybe you can pit if you're 2nd, 3rd, or 4th and not put any tires on, and in turn, if Frank does pit and put 4 tires on, the difference in time could be enough that you could end up being a factor in winning the race. Right now, Frank's car is really, really fast. Damon Lusk's going to have to do something to catch up. Going to be very interesting. I think we're going to start pitting. If they can go 35 laps, you're going to start seeing them pit here within the next 6 or 8 laps, because if the tires are not having a problem and you go on fuel, why take a chance, be in the first one in, get the track position on them, and force the hand on the other teams.
The only driver who won't have that chance would be Belmont, who he did not take tires on his first stop. Let's check with Dick.
Well, somebody who's going to be coming in very early will be Michael Bergers in car number 75. As soon as he started that round of race laps after the last pit stop, he complained that the car was pushing. Now he's saying it's almost impossible to drive. He said, I can't get on the gas. He's been told by his crew, just hang on as long as he can. They're going to take a long pit stop and try to get that number 75 squared away so Michael Bergers can resume speed.
Jimmy, how can you change your line at a place like this to try to drive through a car that's pushing badly?
The thing that's hurting when you push here, Mike, is first of all, you're using up the right front tire. It's going to make it worse as the day goes on. Also, the fuel mileage. You are eating fuel mileage big time. You're slow exiting the corners. And the biggest thing that drivers have fear of is they're going to lose the right front tire and hit the wall. Not a problem with the tire, just a problem with the chassis setup. So it's obvious they messed the tire pressures up or something like that. And actually, Bergers is hollering for a pit stop, but the crew chief's wanting to wait as long as he can so he doesn't have to make 2 pit stops. That takes him out of any chance at all winning. So he's not going to lose a lap right now, and he's hoping that the caution comes. And I agree with Bob Shack on the call. Just be patient, driver, and we'll try to get the car fixed. You're not going to lose a lap at the speed you're running. We're going to have to make a pit stop before that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. They want to wait a few more laps as we see Damon Lusk in the 22 car. He's already chopped about a second off of Frank Kimmel's lead. It's just a little over 2 seconds behind now.
So Frank Kimmel, the advanced auto parts, or the other white meat, number 46 Ford. Out in front now by 2.1 seconds. We are halfway.
With the new Freedom V-twin engine and 25% more power, the 2002 Victory motorcycles challenge all other cruisers. Anytime, anywhere. Take the Freedom Challenge. See your Victory dealer for a test ride and get a free t-shirt.
Fox Tuesday. Get ready for the biggest music talent search in history. Some are bound for glory. Others won't be so lucky.
When you're in my arms, you make me prouder than...
That was terrible. No, I mean awful. I thought he took it quite well.
Thousands of wannabes, only one winner, and your vote will ultimately decide who it is. American Idol, the search for a superstar, premieres Fox Tuesday.
Now you can create your own beautiful backyard oasis, complete with a sparkling water feature, soothing waterfall, and impressive boulders. What better way to enhance the beauty of your garden as well as the value of your home? Imagine a synthetic boulder water feature with the look and feel of real rock. You'd have to pay a specialty contractor over $7,000 to create this beautiful oasis. But now you can do it yourself for under $700. And you'll find everything you need at any major home improvement center.
We did it ourselves.
Pro Rock made it easy and affordable.
Order the Pro Rock Water Feature Video and Tech Manual today. Over 2 hours of comprehensive and easy-to-follow instructions guiding you step-by-step in creating a high-quality permanent water feature complete with synthetic boulders. The School of Synthetic Rock Construction, America's #1 trainer of contractors in the industry, will train you to create these amazingly strong yet realistic boulders and a beautiful waterfall pond through this special video offer. Call today and create your own beautiful backyard oasis. Just one easy payment of $49 will save you thousands. Call now.
Kimmel leads by 2 seconds. C.W. Smith, the shopback Chevy, has just made a pit stop under the green flag. This is the home track for Smith from Williamsport.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we talk about the different strategies, and I agree, because Frank Kimmel told me this morning, said Hoosiers brought a good tire here. But if you're one of those guys that's running back there 8 seconds behind like Andy Belmont, Jason Jarrett, roll the dice, change 2 tires, try to make up some of that ground. If you change 4, then you know you're probably not going to close up on Frank Kimmel any on the, but by virtue of doing the same thing he does.
Well, let's go to Kimmel's pit. Here's Dick.
With Frank's brother Bill, who is the crew chief, how long will you stay out?
Well, we're going to stay out until we can make it our last stop. I'm going to say somewhere around 50. We'll come in, top it off with gas, and go to the end.
You're going to do it a gas and go? You're going to put tires on it? What do you want to do to that car?
Well, depending on the situation, but I'm sure we'll put tires on. Frank likes new tires.
Well, he also likes that race car. Frank Kimmel has dominated the race today, Mike.
Frank and our driver buddy, DW, have a lot in common.
Yes,
he likes those new tires.
I think every driver likes new tires. I don't know of a driver that will turn tires down if you offer it to him. Damon Lust, he's chopped another second something off. It's down to 3/4 of a tenth behind Frank Kimmel right now.
Something happened to Kimmel with traffic because Lusk ate up a full second in just 1 lap.
I mean, Damon Lust ran 56.49 the last lap. Frank Kimmel 57.64, as you say, over a second.
Got to wonder how the pork producers ever found their way onto a race car. That's a pretty unique sponsorship.
Yes, it is. Catching a lot of lap cars right here that really makes a difference. Damon Lusk has really chopped in that lead just in a very few laps.
Kimmel's car is not out of shape. I don't know if he's just being extra careful with the traffic or if there is something wrong.
But as they come on to the long punt or the long straightaway here, the front stretch, I mean, he really put some distance on Damon Lusk, but it's like at the top end of the straightaway, Damon Lusk pulls back in.
There's a look at the speeds last lap.
Boy, Damon Lusk, he tried to pick that throttle up, get a little over anxious there. He got pretty loose, had to get back out of the throttle to see how much distance Frank Kimmel put on him there. You want to pick that throttle up early, but not too early.
Let's have another look here.
Now, this was driving down into turn 1, right in the middle of turn 1 right here. There you see him, he's going to pick the throttle up. See that thing, it's real bumpy down there. It has a lot of bumps. The car just got loose, you have to back off the throttle, because what happens when you pick the throttle up and your car's a little free, as it goes across those bumps, it makes it even looser.
Jimmy, in turn 1, do you like to get the car down right next to that white line, or do you leave a little gap between the line and your car because the track's bumpy right at the apex?
I think that you work hard on trying to get the car to ride over them bumps, because naturally the fastest way through that part of the racetrack is right down on that white line. And you'll see also in tomorrow's race, the cars will start to move up and run a little higher line as a way of carrying a lot of speed off turn 2. But usually if your car's handling really good, you're into the throttle real quick, and the crews have put the right shocks on, and you can ride over them bumps. I didn't see what Lusk did, get a little loose. But if his car's a little free, that's why he's catching Frank right now. It could be obvious that Frank's car is probably getting a little bit tight. Fuel's going out of the fuel cell. Car's getting more nose weight. Car's tightening up a little bit. Lusk cars might be better on longer runs. So it'll be very interesting here, because it won't be long. These guys are going to pit next 5-6 laps.
Yeah, I believe the biggest thing hurting Frank Kimmel's lap traffic, because now that they're in clean traffic with no traffic around them, last lap Frank Kimmel ran 56.76, Damon Lusk ran 57.08. So that's about a 1/4 of a second quicker, Frank Kimmel, on that last lap.
Kevin Belmont may have brushed the wall. Let's have a look here.
This is coming off turn 2, off the tunnel turn, just got up high there. You can run about 2 lanes high, but if you get much higher than that, you get up there, you pick up a lot of stuff on your tires, and the car just won't turn.
Belmont is 2 laps down. He's able to continue. 35 to go. Frank Kimmel leading Damon Lusk by 7/10 of a second. Andy Belmont 3rd, Jason Jarrett, and Chad Blunt.
In the race to sell homes, success goes to the most experienced, the best trained, the hardest driven. At RE/MAX, our success is your success, and our track record is second to none. RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results.
She wore white? She put her past behind her. But you're missing the point of the story. The groom's father-in-law hires him to run the mismanaged shipping department of the family business. No honeymoon? A week in Oahu. That's nice. Not bad, but keep up. The kid turns to FedEx Ground. They give him affordable nationwide B2B delivery with a money-back guarantee. And he gives Daddy Dearest a high-quality, low-cost lesson in who's the boss. Who is the boss? The kid. The kid is now the boss? The kid is now the boss. That's the story? That's it.
At the Beef and Bird Cook-Off, does anyone use a gas grill?
You couldn't get anybody out here to cook with gas.
Definitely want to use charcoal.
Because when it comes to flavor...
Proven fact that charcoal is better than gas.
And the charcoal of choice.
Kingsford, for sure.
Kingsford Charcoal, because taste is everything.
Customizing your car? Stop by Meineke for performance mufflers with attitude, high energy, good looks, and increased horsepower. Plus a free race game. That's Meineke Performance. Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
You need more NASCAR. Rev up the NASCAR Winston Cup Series telecast with 5 in-car channels of race coverage and real-time in-car data. Now you can switch from car to car, ride along, and listen in from start to finish. Only on In Demand. Get it all on digital cable with the NASCAR in-car package. Call today and save $10 off the half-season price. Order the half-season package now, only on digital cable.
Under green with 34 laps to go, Darrell Basham has made a pit stop. Brad Smith has also come pit side under the green flag. As Frank Kimmel leads Damon Lusk now by just a couple of car lengths. Without the benefit of traffic, Lusk has closed it right in. Remember, there is one more pit stop that all of these leaders will have to make. 14 cars are on the lead lap.
You know, a car that started 10th, but he really fell back at the beginning of the race. Billy Venturini in the 25 car, but now he has moved up to 11th, and he's been running some pretty good lap times. I talked to his dad, Billy Venturini, who won the ARCA championship in many ARCA races. This is actually the car they ran at Charlotte, and it's a Hendrick car. It's the car that Terry Labonte won at Texas with a few years ago.
They have Dunham's on the side. That's a Midwestern Sporting Goods chain. And you saw him go across one of those little wet spots at the end of the front straightaway. Little weepers, we call them. Just a little water coming up through the asphalt. Not enough to be a problem for these cars.
And Billy's dad told me that Jeff Bice now is the crew chief who was with Carter Haas last year at Top 09. I said, wait a minute, Billy, I thought you was the crew chief. He said, they fired me. I'm just calling her now.
Michael Verger's calling into his crew after running as high as 3rd that he has a flat right front tire. So he'll be in to Bob Shack's crew, and that will drop him off the lead lap.
But it's right near a scheduled lap time. Of course, he's so slow over there, it's going to cost him even a lot more time. But he's right there on that pit window right now.
And that's where we've talked about, Larry. If you have a problem in turn 1, it's hard to get back, and there goes the tire flailing around in that fender well.
Of course, this is doing a lot of damage to that right front fender, and the front fenders are so important here. So, yeah, you see the hood buckling. I mean, until he gets to his pits, this thing's just doing more and more damage. A lot of damage to that right front.
He's headed toward Dick Berggren.
Now Bob Shack is walking him down pit road. This racetrack, aerodynamics are so important here that chewing up the right front corner of that race car about eliminates any chance that Vergers is going to have to win this race today. They really thought they had a terrific shot, but the hood is pushed in, the fender is about gone as the crew goes to work on the right side of the car. Wrench in the back to try to adjust it. Recall this car was pushing badly earlier, and that may well have been responsible for chewing up this tire and causing this flat.
Yeah, I mean, Dick, I guess one of two things could happen. We got a battle for the lead here on coming to lap 49. Damon Lusk in the 22. He goes underneath Frank Kimmel. This is over in turn 3. Look, able to pick that throttle up, drive away. Now, can he stay in it? Looks like he can. He's going to put some distance on Frank Kimmel. But yeah, I guess now, Dick Berggren, we know why that car was pushing. It either went ahead and damaged the right front tire, or possibly the right front tire was going down.
Bruichladdich on the side of the car. That's an English beer. Caution is out. That's a problem for Vergers. This is likely a piece from his car when that tire started flailing. And it will bring out the second caution of the day.
Yeah, and he went 2 laps down, so that's really going to hurt him as far as this day is concerned. But this is right here on the window that the leaders were getting ready to come to pit road.
31 laps to go. And it will leave us with 12 cars on the lead lap. Chase Montgomery will be the last of those, and Damon Lusk is our new leader. Unlike Winston Cup, where they race back to the caution flag, in ARCA the field is frozen at the moment of caution. They don't go back to the last completed lap. They don't race to the flag. They just freeze the field as they do in the Indy 500.
Exactly, a lot like the kart series. And I tell you, this is a big break for Tom Erickson, Bobby Gearhart, Chase Montgomery. All of these guys were right on the verge of going a lap down by our leader, Damon Lusk.
Lusk has Dynatech on the car and also a real interesting project, One Race America. Fills the hood of that car. His owner, Steve Palag, has created this plan to bring race cars to the inner city. It's kind of it's a neat deal.
Yeah, I mean, they bring a car, a display in, they show them about a pit stop. I mean, it's a neat concept.
Just trying to expand the reach of racing to folks who aren't normally exposed to it.
There you see the right front tire off Michael Verger's tire.
Oh, that's not a tire. That's debris.
You have the inner liner there, which is a safety shield, which is one thing that did allow him to get back to pit road, even though it caused a lot of damage. Pit road is still closed, but to me that's a break because a lot of these cars needed to get to lap 51 or 52, and we just completed lap 50, so it could be a break that pit road's still closed.
And again, likely nothing wrong with that tire to cause the problem, just the way that car was set up. It was abusing the right front tire. You saw the result.
Dad, you gotta love racing. Son, you gotta love fishing. Nothing like a fishing rod. Nothing like a hot rod. Can we agree on anything? How about my bug flecker? Helps deflect bugs and stones.
Keeps your truck looking new. That's true. And Dad, you know, Vent Visor lets you crack your window to keep you dry in the rain.
And cool in the heat. See, we can't agree. Now, boy, this is looking good.
I think this looks a lot better.
Auto Vent Shade products. Gear for the adventure called life.
1963 was the dawn of the golden age of performance when Mercury introduced its first muscle car, the Marauder. With up to 427 cubic inches of power, the street Marauders flexed their muscles on the boulevards, while drivers like Parnelli Jones were winning stock car championships in the Pikes Peak Hill Climb in specially prepared Marauders. The Marauder heritage is reborn in the new 2003 Mercury Marauder and Speed Channel's exclusive special, Mercury at Speed, the Legend of Marauder.
Father's Day's coming soon. Richard Petty Driving Experience has a special offer just for Dad. Buy any experience, and for an extra $75, Dad gets a ride-along program and the Swiss Army money clip.
Call 1-800-B-PETTY for this awesome Father's Day package from Richard Petty Driving Experience.
Here's a chance to make your dad feel like a king, too.
Call 1-800-B-PETTY today.
Ultra powerful. Ultra easy. Ultra powerful. Ultra easy. This is the concept behind new Lotramin Ultra, the new way to cure athlete's foot. Why is it ultra powerful? Because it's got a new prescription strength ingredient that nobody else has. Why is it ultra easy? Because you just have to use it once a day. And it keeps your athlete's foot free for 3 months. Ultra powerful, ultra easy. New once a day Lotramin Ultra.
Catch the newest wave in hot rods, Pep Boys High Rev Tuners, covering the latest tips, the hippest trends, and the hottest tricked-out street rides. Plus, special features like In Focus, Pep Boys High Rev Tuners, Sunday nights at 10:30, only on Speed.
37 cars started this race at Pocono. 7 are in the garage. 12 are on the lead lap as we work the second caution flag of the day. Debris from Michael Verger's car, bringing out the caution with 50 of 80 laps complete, and the team's about to make their final and key pit stop of the day.
You know, another car that this is a big break for is Rick Corelli in that 05 car. We've talked about how fast the race car he's got, and he'll be on pit road. All these teams right now, you just need a good, solid pit stop. Make sure that car is full of fuel, though. There they come to pit road, 55 miles an hour.
Damon Lusk leads Frank Kimmel, Andy Belmont, Jason Jarrett to the direction of Jimmy Spencer.
Well, we're waiting now. They know they made a little mistake on the last pit stop, but they're going to try to make up for it this time. They are going to make no adjustments, just tire pressure. So they're up on the right-hand side. Windshield, they have a tire guy Servicing the driver. I took care of that for you. A little slow on the right side. Right rear guy, okay, he comes around. Now it's on down to Dick.
Well, Frank Kimmel is in for 4 tires. This is just about exactly where he wanted to pit. Remember, his brother Bill said he wanted to pit on lap 50. This is lap 51. Basically, no changes at all. 22 is down and away already. Kimmel still putting the left side tires on. Jason Jarrett just a little ways up pit road. He's almost done. Kimmel is going to beat everybody out of the pits. He will lead this race. Jarrett's car stalled. 67 is stalled. The crew is pushing it, trying to get him going. Jarrett finally gets started. A near collision on pit road as that happens.
A costly stop for Jason Jarrett, the Biomet Damon RV Chevrolet.
Billy Venturini, he jumped up to 3rd, but they decided to take 2 tires only, try to get that track position.
And as we've seen, the field strings out within a couple of laps after a restart, making it real hard to draft your way up to that lead pack. So Venturini wants to be part of it where they drop the green.
Now, I tell you, again, if you this close to the end of this race, 2 fresh right side tires, we hear everybody talk about how good this tire is. We documented Billy Venturini has a good race car. It was starting to really come on, so getting that track position could pay off for him, this 25 group.
He came in to the pits 9th, and we'll pick up from there. Jimmy?
Yeah, Andy Belmont's guys were so excited, ready, you know, having a great day, and they come in, put 4 tires on the car, and the jack slipped on them. So they're over there discussing now what happened, but really hurt Andy on that pit stop.
The Autobahn Ford for Andy Belmont, longtime modified competitor and now a veteran of the ARCA series as well.
But for the most part, the strategy should be out the window. Everybody should be full of fuel. They have the tires they want. Now it's out what happens out on the racetrack.
We're under the 2nd caution of the day here at Pocono in the ARCA Remax 200.
If a car company puts a little sports car in everything it builds, imagine what happens when it builds a sports car.
Zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom.
The Mazda Miata, 6 speeds, VVT engine, and a whole lot of fun.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom.
The company that reinvented the Roadster keeps reinventing the Roadster.
Lives on speed. No one gets you closer.
Fed up with yo-yo diets and food fads? Do you need help making the right diet choices? Introducing NutriCounter, the electronic organizer that monitors and measures your food. Not just a calorie counter, it creates a program for your individual goals. Lose or gain weight, reduce cholesterol, fat, sodium, and sugar. Manage fiber, protein, and carbs. Type in your food and it displays the nutritional content and adds up your totals for the day. If you go over your goal, the line flashes. It's like having a personal diet counselor. There's over 2,000 built-in foods, including fast foods, or add your own. NutriCounter looks like a calculator so you can discreetly use it anywhere.
I use the NutriCounter to watch my sodium intake, and I lost weight.
Call the toll-free number to find out how you can invest in NutriCounter to start enjoying a lifetime of diet success. Enjoy success the NutriCounter way. Call now.
To order your NutriCounter or for more information, call 1-800-815-9094 toll-free right now. That's 1-800-815-9094. Call now.
We're about a lap away from going back to green. Frank Kimmel leading Damon Lusk, Chad Blunt, Billy Venturini, Jason Jarrett, Rick Corelli, Andy Belmont. Chase Montgomery, Mark Gibson, Erickson, Cox, Gerhardt are the cars on the lead lap. Jimmy Spencer.
We're in the pits here of Dunham's sponsored number 25 of Billy Venturini with Jeff Bryce, the crew chief. Jeff, you were in the back there all day long. Looks, you had a great pit stop. How's the car been this part and now after you made the adjustments?
Well, we were tight at the start. You know, we didn't get any practice yesterday, and we loosened the car up quite a bit on the first stop. And Billy's doing a great job out there. He's picked up about a second from where we started. You know, we don't have anything for Frank Kimmel, but we freed it up a little bit more, and we're going to try to get a good top 5 in the Dunham Chevrolet today. That's what we're looking for.
Good job. Back down to Dick Berggren now.
Well, how many backseat drivers can you cope with? I guess if you've got good backseat drivers, it's not so bad to have more than one. And right now, Jason Jarrett's got 2 of them. Sitting up on top of the grandstand, Bob Jeffries, longtime spotter for his father, is helping Jason to try to deal with lap traffic. But in the garage area, standing on top of one of the trucks, Dale Jarrett. So he's got 2 real good people to help him weed his way through traffic, see if he can get up to the front.
And Dick, what I like about this race car, you see the sponsor Biomet, they actually make artificial hip joints for people. And you don't even have to go there. They take an x-ray, send it there, and it's made through a CNC machine, a lot like what does the work on cylinder heads on race cars. And we're fixing to go green, guys.
You can order everything off the internet, can't you?
Absolutely. You saw Billy Venturini in that 25 car. Last restart, he was 16th. Now he's up to 4th here, so we'll see what he can do now that he's caught up with the field along with Rick Corelli in 05.
Venturini raced his way from 16th up to 9th, came into the pits 9th, came out 4th. That's his blue car, left side of your screen. Here we go.
25 laps to go.
Those 5 lanes will funnel down to 3 and then down to just 1, maybe 2 in the middle of turn 1.
That's all it better be by the time you get there.
Now you go in there 3 wide. That's the Pocono zone. You know, for no practice, you've got to give these drivers credit. This has been a remarkably error-free race. 2 cautions, both for debris, are the only holdups we've had today.
Billy Venturini in the 25 car, he went by Chad Blunt. He's up to 3rd place here, just less than a lap after the restart.
And Blunt, though, has a problem.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of positions over here in turn 3. Yeah, something didn't sound exactly right there.
Damon Lusk chasing Frank Kimmel just as we started the day, and Billy Venturini on that pit stop strategy has closed into 3rd here.
You saw Jimmy Spencer talk to his crew chief, Jeff Bice. I tell you, Jeff Bice, I think, is one of the best kept secrets in racing. I mean, this guy is a sharp guy, and he's definitely making a difference. Jason Jarrett is 67, Andy Belmont in 1. This is a battle for 5th.
Now Rick Corelli has passed them and gone on in 4th place.
Andy Belmont just able to carry that momentum on the outside down here into the tunnel turn. Now getting into turn 3, the inside line will definitely be the best line. Jason Jarrett driving down to the bottom right there, able to stay around the bottom and pick that throttle up. See Andy Belmont, there's no grip up in that 2nd groove of turn 3. Just washes right up. He's going to lose another position.
Yep, he loses 6th to Erickson, the 38 of Tom Erickson. Now Jarrett has caught up with Corelli, and maybe the 2 can draft their way up toward 3rd place Billy Venturini. Dick Berger, and what's wrong with Chad Blunt?
Engine. It's under the hood, Mike. They're trying to figure out exactly what it is that's wrong with the engine. They really don't know. They asked him if he potentially over-revved it. He said no, he had never even hit the chip, meaning he wasn't even close to over-revving the engine. They don't know what's wrong. They've asked him if he wants to stay out and have the potential of blowing it up or bring it in. He's still out.
But getting slower by the 2nd, Dick, and I think he may have to pull in this time.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 2nd points, you want to run it basically till it won't run anymore at all.
Kimmel and Lusk are now pulling away from the 25. We'll show you Venturini, and the battle is right behind this blue car as Venturini is 2 seconds off the leaders, 2.5 seconds behind him. Here's Jarrett going after Rick Corelli, the red car on the outside. The Remax car is Corelli, and Jason Jarrett is going to go by the Colorado veteran and move up into 4th place.
Definitely the best thing these 2 guys can do right here is run nose to tail, not start racing each other side by side, because if they do, those leaders are going to get smaller and smaller.
Jarrett had a foray into the NASCAR Busch Series and then moved to ARCA, where he was Rookie of the Year last season. This is his 34th ARCA start. He won Kansas last year and has 3 second-place finishes last season. This year, a 2nd at Salem is his best effort.
22 laps to go. Chad Blunt to 77. I heard Dick Bergman talk about an engine problem. He brings it to pit road. They're going to raise the hood and see if they can figure out what might be going on. Again, the only Dodge in the field, Ernie Elliott engine. You can hear it almost, don't even sound like it's running on 8 cylinders.
Now they look back, saw one mechanic looking back at the back plug wire on the right-hand side. 22-year-old driver in his 13th ARCA start. has 10 top 10s, 5 top 5s. Dick?
Still don't really know what's happened with Chad Blunt's car, but he has repeatedly said, I didn't miss a shift, I didn't miss a shift, but something has clearly gone wrong with this engine. Hood is closed, they're going to send it back out again. Maybe it was just a bad plug wire or something of that nature. They didn't really fix anything. Possible valve spring, they are now theorizing, has gone wrong in the engine.
I mean, this place is so hard on motors. It's those hanging RPMs. They get up there at about 8,900, 9,000, and it just stays there, and it's very hard on valve springs. But I'm sure the reason they were questioning missing a shift, normally when something happens like that right after a restart, these guys will restart either second or third gear. As you go through the gearbox, get up to speed, you'll miss a shift.
Every shift.
Over-rev the engine.
Yeah, every shift is an opportunity for another problem. Frank Kimmel leads Damon Luss just by a car length or two. Billy Venturini is 5 seconds back.
Well, it's nice to see you all. It really, really is. Isn't it, honey?
Oh, yes. We must do this more often.
Thanks for coming.
Where will you find the money to pay for long-term care? Conseco Long-Term Care Insurance protects you so you don't lose your nest egg. Conseco, step up.
You need more NASCAR. Rev up the NASCAR Winston Cup Series telecast with 5 in-car channels of race coverage and real-time in-car data. Now you can switch from car to car, ride along, and listen in from start to finish. Only on In Demand. Get it all on digital cable with the NASCAR in-car package. Test drive NASCAR in-car for free Sunday, June 16th. Check it out only on digital cable.
What makes a great car company is the passion. You know, racing is such an important part of Ford's history, both with the cars themselves, some of the best drivers ever to drive, and then the fans. It's the man or the woman who's got the car in the garage, that tinkers all week, and then takes it to the track on the weekend and lets loose. I love it.
Race fans, don't miss Summer Speed Week at Daytona International Speedway.
Our races at Daytona are so exciting, they're standing room only, because nobody ever sits down.
You know, when we race at Daytona, sometimes I wish I had a better seat, like up in the grandstand.
Pepsi 400 Pole Night, July 4th. The Stacker 250 Busch Series race, July 5th. And the Pepsi 400, July 6th. For tickets, visit our website or call 386-253-RACE.
Summer Speed Week at Daytona is bigger than ever. Come on out and see for yourself.
Welcome back to Pocono, where the show's going on all around us. 20 laps to go.